Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today's episode, Clean Slate, the complete credit report repair system for 2026. Learn exactly how to legally dispute, remove, and rebuild your credit report, and reclaim your financial freedom faster than you thought possible. This one's made for anyone with negative items on their credit report, including late payments, collections, charge-offs, or errors, who wants to take control of their credit and qualify for better loans, lower rates, and greater financial opportunities, and by the end you'll have real, practical skills you can use right away.
I'm really excited about this one. Here's what we're covering together today. Module 1, Understanding Your Credit Report Like a Pro. Module 2, The Art and Science of Credit Disputes. Module 3, Targeting and Removing Specific Negative Items. Module 4, Rebuilding Your Credit Score from the Ground Up. Grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in.
Alright, let's get into it. That brings us to Module 1. Module 1, Understanding Your Credit Report Like a Pro. Students can pull, read, and identify every element of their credit report, including errors, negative items, and reporting inaccuracies, with confidence.
In this part of the show, we'll talk through how your credit report actually works, how to pull all 3 credit reports for free, reading your report, spotting errors, negatives, and violations.
Here's something most people never realize. Your credit report isn't just one document. There are actually 3 of them, one from each major bureau, and they can all look different. I want you to think of your credit report like a financial resume. Every late payment, every account, every inquiry, it's all in there, and lenders read it very carefully. Once you understand how this document is organized and what each section really means, you stop being a victim of it and start using it as a tool. That shift in mindset is where everything begins. Let me break that down a bit more. Your credit report is a detailed financial history compiled by 3 major bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Each bureau collects data independently, which means the same account can appear differently, or not at all, across all 3 reports. Your report is divided into 5 sections: personal information, account history, public records, hard inquiries, and collections. Lenders, landlords, and even employers use this document to evaluate your trustworthiness as a financial partner. Understanding what each section means gives you the power to spot problems and challenge them effectively.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. Your credit report exists in 3 separate versions, and reviewing all 3 is essential to catching every error and negative item. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. Which 3 companies are the major credit reporting bureaus in the United States? Your options are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, FICO, Vantage and Experian, Chase, Bank of America and Wells Fargo, IRS, FDC, and CFPB. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are the private companies responsible for collecting and reporting consumer credit data. Okay, so you want to pull your credit reports, and I need to warn you right now about the trap most people fall into. There are dozens of websites out there that look official, but will quietly sign you up for a monthly subscription the moment you enter your information. The only site you need is annualcreditreport.com. That's the one backed by federal law. Pull all 3 reports, download each one as a PDF right away, and save them somewhere you can find them. This is your starting point, and you cannot skip this step. Let me break that down a bit more. Federal law under the Fair Credit Reporting Act (FCRA) entitles every American to one free credit report from each bureau annually through annualcreditreport.com, the only government-authorized source. As of recent regulatory updates, many consumers can now access weekly free reports through this portal. Avoid third-party sites that mimic this service, as they often enroll you in paid subscriptions. When pulling your reports, download and save a PDF copy of each immediately, as online access may expire. Date stamp your files and create a dedicated folder for your credit repair journey.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. Always get your reports directly from annualcreditreport.com and save PDF copies immediately. This is your legal right and your foundation for repair. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is the only federally authorized website where you can pull your free credit reports? Your options are creditkarma.com, myfico.com, annualcreditreport.com, freecreditscore.com. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com is the only website authorized by federal law under the FCRA to provide free annual credit reports from all three major bureaus. When I first looked at my credit report, I honestly didn't know what I was looking at. But once you know what to look for, errors jump right off the page. And here's the thing. Errors are more common than you think. I've seen reports where the same collection account shows up twice, or a payment is marked late when it was actually on time. Go through every single line. Check your personal info. Check every account status. Check the dates. The law says everything on your report has to be accurate and verifiable. And if it's not, you have every legal right to challenge it. Let me break that down a bit more. Once you have your reports, you need a systematic approach to reviewing them. Start with the personal information section. Incorrect addresses, misspelled names, or wrong social security digits can indicate mixed files or even identity theft. Next, comb through every account and look for accounts you don't recognize, incorrect balances, wrong payment statuses, or accounts listed as open that should be closed. The FCRA requires that all information reported be accurate, complete, and verifiable. Any deviation from this standard gives you grounds for a dispute. Make a color-coded list, red for outright errors, yellow for items you want to investigate, and green for accurate positives.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. Every item on your report must meet the FCRA accuracy standard. Anything that doesn't is disputable and potentially removable. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, all information on your credit report must be, your options are, older than 7 years to be removed, accurate, complete, and verifiable, submitted by a licensed lender, reviewed by the IRS annually. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is accurate, complete, and verifiable. The FCRA mandates that consumer credit information must be accurate, complete, and verifiable. This standard is the legal foundation for all credit disputes. Okay, moving right along. That brings us to Module 2. Module 2, the art and science of credit disputes. Students can write and submit effective, legally grounded dispute letters that compel bureaus to investigate and remove inaccurate or unverifiable negative items.
In this part of the show, we'll talk through your legal rights under the FCRA and FDCPA, writing a dispute letter that actually works, disputing directly with creditors, the 1-2 punch strategy.
Let me tell you something that changes the game. When you write a dispute letter and you cite the specific law that backs you up, the whole dynamic shifts. Credit bureaus deal with thousands of vague complaints every day. But when someone walks in citing the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 611, they sit up and pay attention. The FCRA and the FDCPA are federal laws, and they have real teeth. Violations can cost the bureaus and collectors serious money. So knowing your rights isn't just empowering, it's strategically smart. Let me break that down a bit more. The Fair Credit Reporting Act FCRA and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act FDCPA are your two most powerful legal weapons in credit repair. The FCRA gives you the right to dispute any inaccurate or unverifiable information and requires bureaus to complete investigations within 30 days. The FDCPA governs how debt collectors can communicate with you and prohibits harassment, false statements, and unfair practices. If a collector or bureau violates either law, you may have grounds for a federal lawsuit and could receive up to $1,000 in statutory damages per violation. Knowing these laws by name and citing them in your correspondence instantly signals to bureaus and collectors that you are an informed consumer they must take seriously.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. The FCRA and FDCPA are federal laws that give you powerful dispute rights. Citing them by name in your letters signals you are a serious, informed consumer. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. How many days does a credit bureau have to complete a dispute investigation under the FCRA? Your options are 15 days, 45 days, 30 days, 60 days. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is 30 days. Under the FCRA, Credit bureaus are legally required to investigate disputes and respond within 30 days of receiving the dispute, extendable to 45 days in some cases. Writing a dispute letter isn't about getting angry on paper, it's about being calm, precise, and legally grounded. Think of yourself as filing a professional complaint, not venting frustration. You want the person reading your letter to have absolutely no ambiguity about what you're disputing and why. Be specific. Name the account number, the error. Then tell them what you want, a correction or a deletion. Cite the law, and then mail it certified with a return receipt. That little green card that comes back to you? That's your proof the clock has started, and they are now legally on the hook to respond. Let me break that down a bit more. An effective dispute letter is specific, professional, and legally grounded, never emotional or threatening. Your letter should include your full name, current address, date of birth, and the last 4 digits of your social security number for identity verification. Clearly identify each disputed item by creditor name, account number, and the specific reason for the dispute, such as "this account does not belong to me" or "this payment was made on time per my bank records." Request that the Bureau investigate and delete or correct the item, and cite FCRA Section 611 as your legal basis. Send every letter via certified mail with return receipt requested so you have irrefutable proof of delivery and the clock officially starts.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. A great dispute letter is specific, professional, legally cited, and always sent certified mail. Vagueness and emotion undermine your case. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is the best method for submitting a credit dispute letter to ensure legal proof of delivery? Your options are email with read receipt, online dispute portal only, certified mail with return receipt requested, fax to the Bureau's main number. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is certified mail with return receipt requested. Certified mail with return receipt provides legally admissible proof that your dispute was received, officially starting the Bureau's 30-day investigation clock. Here's a strategy most people skip, and it's one of the most powerful moves in the game. While you're disputing with the bureaus, you should also be writing directly to the creditor who put that negative item on your report in the first place. They have their own legal obligations under the FCRA. Ask them to validate the debt, show you the original agreement, the payment records, the whole thing. Many smaller collectors or older debts simply can't produce that documentation. And when they can't prove it, they lose their right to keep reporting it. That's the 1-2 punch, and it works. Let me break that down a bit more. While disputing with the credit bureaus is your primary strategy, simultaneously disputing directly with the original creditor or furnisher can accelerate removals significantly. Under FCRA Section 623, furnishers, the companies that report data to the bureaus, have their own obligation to investigate disputes and correct inaccurate information. Send a separate letter to the creditor's credit reporting or compliance department, not their customer service line. In your letter, request that they verify the specific data they reported, including the original agreement, payment history, and account details. This is known as a debt validation request. When creditors cannot produce the required documentation, they are legally required to stop reporting the item, which often triggers deletion.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this. Disputing directly with the creditor alongside the Bureau creates dual legal pressure and dramatically improves your odds of getting negative items removed. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. Under which section of the FCRA are furnishers, companies that report data to credit bureaus, required to investigate consumer disputes? Your options are Section 604, Section 609, Section 623, Section 611. Take a second and lock in your answer.
Alright, the correct answer is Section 623. FCRA Section 623 specifically places legal obligations on data furnishers to investigate consumer disputes and correct or delete inaccurate information they have reported. Okay, moving right along. That brings us to Module 3. Module 3. Targeting and removing specific negative items. Students can create a tailored removal strategy for the most common and damaging negative items, including collections, late payments, charge-offs, bankruptcies, and hard inquiries.
In this part of the show, we'll talk through removing collections and charge-offs, goodwill letters, pay for delete, and late payment removal, handling bankruptcies, judgments, and hard inquiry removal.
Collections and charge-offs look terrifying on a credit report, but I want to reframe how you see them. They're often the weakest entries, because the paper trail gets messier every time a debt gets sold. By the time a collector has purchased your old debt for pennies on the dollar, they may have very little of the original documentation. That's where you have leverage. Ask them to prove the debt. Show you the original contract with your signature, the payment history, everything. If they can't, and many can't, they cannot legally continue reporting it. Don't pay a collection without doing your homework first. Let me break that down a bit more. Collections and charge-offs are among the most damaging items on a credit report, but they are also among the most frequently removable through proper dispute strategy. First, verify the statute of limitations in your state, as attempting to collect on time-barred debt can actually reset the clock if you make a payment or acknowledge the debt in writing. For collections, start with a debt validation letter sent within 30 days of first contact to force the collector to prove the debt is valid and that they have the right to collect it. If a collection was sold multiple times and the current collector cannot produce the original signed agreement, they have no legal standing to report it. For charge-offs, dispute the balance listed. Creditors frequently report inaccurate balances or dates, which qualifies as an error and triggers a mandatory reinvestigation.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: never pay a collection without first sending a debt validation letter. Collectors who can't validate the debt lose their legal right to report it. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is the primary purpose of sending a debt validation letter to a collection agency? Your options are: to negotiate a lower payment amount, to request that the agency stop calling you, to legally require the collector to prove the debt is valid and they have the right to collect it, to set up an automatic payment plan. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is to legally require the collector to prove the debt is valid and they have the right to collect it. A debt validation letter invokes your rights under the FDCPA and forces the collector to provide documentation proving the debt exists and that they are legally authorized to collect it. I want to talk about goodwill letters for a minute, because they're genuinely underestimated. I've seen people remove late payments from otherwise good accounts simply by writing an honest, respectful letter to the creditor and asking for a second chance. You'd be surprised how often a human being on the other end of that letter has some discretion and uses it. Now, for collections, Pay for Delete takes it a step further. You're essentially saying, I'll pay you, but only if you agree to wipe it off my report. Get that agreement in writing first. No writing, no payment. That's the rule. Let me break that down a bit more. Late payments can remain on your credit report for up to 7 years, but they are not always permanent. If the late payment was a one-time event on an otherwise strong account with a long positive history, a goodwill letter to the original creditor can be remarkably effective. Write a brief, sincere letter explaining your circumstances and asking them to remove the late payment as a gesture of goodwill. Pay for Delete is another strategy where you offer to settle a collection account in exchange for the collector agreeing in writing to delete the account from your report entirely upon payment. Always get the Pay for Delete agreement in writing before sending a single dollar. For accounts with multiple late payments, dispute the most recent ones first, as removing those can limit further score damage while you address older ones.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: always secure a Pay for Delete agreement in writing before making any payment. Verbal promises from collectors are unenforceable. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is a Pay for Delete agreement in credit repair? Your options are: a plan where you pay the bureau directly to remove items, an arrangement where a collector agrees in writing to delete a collection from your report in exchange for payment, a legal settlement that wipes your entire credit report clean, a government program that forgives medical debt on your credit report. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is an arrangement where a collector agrees in writing to delete a collection from your report in exchange for payment. Pay for Delete is a negotiated agreement, not a guaranteed right, where a collector removes a derogatory account from your credit report as a condition of receiving payment. Bankruptcies feel like the end of the road, but even they have vulnerabilities. Every single account listed as included in bankruptcy should actually have been included. If one wasn't, that's a disputable error right there. And hard inquiries? A lot of people don't realize that if you didn't authorize a credit pull, it legally should not be on your report. Check your inquiries section carefully. Every unfamiliar name needs to be questioned. Some of these are just errors, some are signs of identity theft. Either way, they don't belong there, and you have the right to challenge them. Let me break that down a bit more. Bankruptcies are among the most stubborn items, with Chapter 7 staying on your report for 10 years and Chapter 13 for 7 years. But they can be disputed if the listed date, case number, or status is inaccurate. Check that every account listed as included in bankruptcy is only those accounts actually discharged, and dispute any that were not. Judgments filed in court are public record, but since the three bureaus stopped reporting most civil judgments in 2017, many older judgments can now be disputed as unverifiable. Hard inquiries can be disputed if you did not authorize the credit pull. Send a dispute letter to the bureau identifying the unauthorized inquiry by creditor name and date. Citing FCRA Section 604, removing hard inquiries is less impactful on score than removing accounts, but eliminating fraudulent or duplicate inquiries is still worth pursuing.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: even bankruptcies contain disputable errors. Always verify that only properly discharged accounts are listed as included in bankruptcy on each bureau's report. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. How long does a Chapter 7 bankruptcy remain on a credit report? Your options are 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is 10 years. Chapter 7 bankruptcy remains on a credit report for 10 years from the filing date, while Chapter 13 remains for 7 years per FCRA reporting time limits. Okay, moving right along. That brings us to Module 4. Module 4. Rebuilding your credit score from the ground up. Students can implement a concrete, step-by-step credit rebuilding plan that increases their credit score and positions them for better financial products within 3 to 12 months.
In this part of the show, we'll talk through the 5 factors of your credit score and how to master them: secured cards, credit builder loans, and becoming an authorized user. Building a 12-month credit repair action plan.
Think of your credit score like a recipe. There are 5 specific ingredients, and each one carries a different weight. Payment history is the biggest one, at 35%. That means paying on time, every single time, is the single most powerful thing you can do for your score. Credit utilization is next at 30%. And here's a tip most people don't know. Getting your utilization below 10%, not just 30%, is where you see the real score jumps. Once you understand how each ingredient works, you can prioritize which ones to fix first for the fastest results. Let me break that down a bit more. Your FICO credit score is calculated using 5 weighted factors: payment history 35%, credit utilization 30%, length of credit history 15%, credit mix 10%, and new credit inquiries 10%. Payment history is the most critical. A single 30-day late payment can drop your score by up to 100 points, while consistent on-time payments rebuild it steadily over 12 to 24 months. Credit utilization measures how much of your available revolving credit you're using. Keeping this below 10% provides the strongest score benefit, far better than the commonly cited 30% threshold. Length of history rewards your oldest accounts, so never close an old card unless it carries a fee that outweighs the benefit. Understanding these factors allows you to make surgical moves that generate maximum score improvement per action.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: payment history is 35% of your score. One missed payment does more damage than almost any other single event, so autopay is non-negotiable. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is the most heavily weighted factor in calculating a FICO credit score? Your options are credit utilization ratio, length of credit history, payment history, number of hard inquiries. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is payment history. Payment history accounts for 35% of a FICO score, making it the single most influential factor. Consistent on-time payments are the most effective long-term score builder. When your credit is in rough shape, the strategy isn't to wait. It's to start adding fresh, positive accounts right now. A secured card is one of the easiest ways to do that. You put down a deposit, use the card for small purchases, pay it off every month, and watch the positive history build. If you have a family member with great credit, ask them to add you as an authorized user on one of their oldest cards. You don't even have to use the card. Just being on it can boost your score by adding their positive history to your report. Stack these strategies together and your score starts moving. Let me break that down a bit more. When your credit is damaged, your goal is to add positive accounts to your report while keeping new inquiries minimal. A secured credit card, where you deposit cash as collateral, reports to all three bureaus just like a regular card and begins building positive payment history immediately. Credit builder loans, offered by many credit unions and online lenders, work by holding the loan amount in a savings account while you make monthly payments, then releasing the funds to you at the end, building payment history while also saving money. Becoming an authorized user on a trusted family member or friend's long-standing, low-utilization credit card can add their entire positive history to your report overnight, sometimes boosting scores by 20 to 50 points instantly. Use all three strategies simultaneously for compounding positive impact.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: secured cards, credit builder loans, and authorized user status are the three fastest tools for adding positive history to a damaged credit report. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. What is the primary credit building benefit of becoming an authorized user on someone else's credit card? Your options are: you become legally responsible for their debt, their positive account history can be added to your credit report, your credit utilization automatically drops to 0, you receive a separate FICO score based on their account. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is their positive account history can be added to your credit report. When added as an authorized user, the primary cardholder's account history, including age, payment history, and utilization, is often reported on the authorized user's credit report as well. I want to leave you with something really important. Credit repair is a marathon, not a sprint. The people who get the best results aren't the ones looking for a magic bullet. They're the ones who commit to a plan and execute it month by month. In the first 90 days, you're doing the heavy lifting, pulling reports, sending disputes, building your case. By month 6, you're starting to see real results and you're adding positive accounts. By month 12, many people are unrecognizable on paper compared to where they started. Give yourself the grace of time, stay consistent, and trust the process. You've got everything you need. Let me break that down a bit more. Sustainable credit repair is not a one-time event. It is a systematic 12-month process that combines dispute activity with proactive rebuilding. In months 1 through 3, focus on pulling all three reports, categorizing every negative item, and submitting your first round of dispute letters to the bureaus and creditors. In months 4 through 6, follow up on investigation results, escalate unresolved disputes to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau (CFPB) if needed, and begin adding positive accounts. In months 7 through 9, evaluate your score improvements, address any remaining negative items with a second dispute round or goodwill letters, and optimize your credit utilization across all revolving accounts. In months 10 through 12, focus on maintaining perfect payment history, avoid new hard inquiries unless necessary, and evaluate whether you now qualify for unsecured cards or loan products with better terms.
You know what really stood out to me there? If our listeners remember just one thing from this lesson, make it this: credit repair is a 12-month system, consistent action across disputes, positive account building, and utilization management compounds into transformational score improvement. Okay, quick pop quiz for everyone listening. When should you consider escalating an unresolved credit dispute to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau (CFPB)? Your options are: immediately, before contacting the Bureau directly, only after 7 years have passed on the negative item, after the Bureau has failed to properly investigate or resolve your dispute, only if the disputed amount exceeds $10,000. Take a second and lock in your answer.
All right, the correct answer is after the Bureau has failed to properly investigate or resolve your dispute. The CFPB is a regulatory escalation tool used when a credit bureau fails to conduct a proper investigation or ignores a valid dispute. It should follow, not replace, direct bureau disputes. And that's a wrap on Clean Slate, the complete credit report repair system for 2026. You now have everything you need to put this into practice.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Take what you learned, start applying it right away, and keep going. We'll see you in the next episode. Good luck out there.